Okay everybody, calm down. The news that Mikel Arteta is 90% certain to replace Arsene Wenger has been greeted with characteristic hysteria from fans on social media, with the exception of some more measured skepticism and even a little optimism. Let's be honest. Nobody knows how Arteta will fare as Arsenal manager, not even the club's new hierarchy tasked with appointing Wenger's successor. That's despite Ivan Gazidis's assurances that the club have tremendous experience and resources to make the right choice. The body of work Arteta can be judged as admittedly small. 2 seasons of experience coaching under Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, and 5 years as an Arsenal player under Wenger. Related articles previous one. The next Arsenal are lining up a move of Borussia. Arsenal hold talks with £40 million nice midfielder Jean-Michel. Arsenal set to appoint Mikel Arteta as new boss of players. Arsenal cull begins as 6 long-serving members of Arsene. Share this article, share, but all the talk is that Arteta's been a big hit at the Etihad. Guardiola credited him with having a huge influence on City's record-breaking title win this season. That's the world's greatest manager insisting the so-called greatest team in Premier League history's success was down in part to Arteta. Should he join, that would already be the biggest say an Arsenal manager has had on the title race in 14 years. His standing among supporters shouldn't be underestimated either. Arteta arrived at the Emirates 7 years ago as a panic buy from Everton in one of the many underwhelming transfer windows at Arsenal over the past decade, midway through a painful 9-year trophy drought. He left 5 seasons later as club captain, a firm favourite among supporters and their most popular and influential player in the squad. In his final game, a 4-0 win over Aston Villa, he received the kind of reception saved for only genuine club legends. Once injuries began to take their toll on the midfielder, he assumed the role of dressing room leader and earned the nickname coach among teammates. If he returns 2 years later, there'll be a strangeness in coaching his former teammates, but it sounds like he's long began the transition from player to manager. Sure, a more experienced manager like Massimiliano Allegri or Carlo Ancelotti would represent the safer option for Arsenal. A steady hand to guide the club through what is set to be a period of transition and recover from the Wenger hangover. But in the era of short-term managers, what good is the stability they bring to a club if he leaves just 2 or 3 seasons later, as Allegri would be expected to do? Sections of the support were furious when Wenger was handed the new 2-year deal after last season's FA Cup final win, angry over the club's willingness to continue with a manager whose reign had long since stagnated. Arteta represents a risk, but it's an appointment in the same vein of what fans have been calling for. An imaginative, charismatic, and exciting manager with fresh ideas. Everything Wenger was in his first decade, and everything he wasn't in his second. Patrick Vieira would be the ultimate sentimental choice, and would arrive with even more stock in the tank from his playing days. But if we are bemoaning Arteta's lack of managerial experience, then does 2 years in charge of New York City really put Vieira miles ahead of the Spaniard? It's not as Arteta would be stepping into a complete power vacuum either. The recent recruitment of Sven Mislintat, Raul Sanllehi, Husfami and company means that transfers, contracts and finances are no longer in the manager's remit. Arteta would be allowed to focus on coaching and tactics, both badly needed in a squad of players in desperate need of some instruction. Who's to know how the likes of Granit Xhaka, Shkodran Mustafi and Aaron Ramsey can perform under the leadership of a new manager playing in a more structured system? I don't buy the theory that Arteta would simply be brought in as a company man who will represent more of the same due to his still fresh associations with the club. This is a man who went from Barcelona to Rangers during his playing days and defected to join City's coaching staff after leaving Arsenal. He's clearly not afraid of shaking things up in order to succeed, and doesn't appear to be a yes man. It's near impossible to assess someone who's never been a number one before. Guardiola's success at Barcelona and Zinedine Zidane's at Real Madrid doesn't necessarily translate. Arteta would be the youngest manager in the top flight by 3.5 years should he join. But fans shouldn't be surprised at the left-wing choice, if Arsenal's past appointments are anything to go by. Their last 3 managers arrived from Millwall, Bolton and Japanese side Nagoya Grampus 8. Arteta looks suitably conservative in comparison. He will arrive with the club still recovering from a nostalgic couple of months, to an Emirates crowd not knowing the future holds, and unaccustomed to seeing an unfamiliar face in the dugout. But the new era was always going to be ushered in like this. Arsenal are taking a leap into the unknown. An appointment like Arteta is equal parts exciting and nerve-wracking, but at least it will invigorate the sleepy Emirates crowd. Plus, it's nice to nab someone from City, rather than vice versa for a change. WHO knows how he'll do. It might well get worse before it gets better, but let's give him a chance. Related articles: previous one, the next Arsenal are lining up a move of Borussia. Arsenal hold talks with £40 million nice midfielder Jean Michael. Arsenal set to appoint Mikel Arteta as new boss with players. Arsenal cull begins as 6 long-serving members of our scene. Share this article. Share.